Good morning. So much to say, so much to say, but I will only say what I need to say, what I meant to say today, right now. I am in the ocean. I'm in the ocean. I have completely surrendered and let go, and I am in the ocean, in the deep depths of my emotional ocean. And what I've learned since going over to the dark side is that everything is about self. Everything is about self. I've gotten so much closer to myself, and this shit is happening kind of fast. Mind you, I record these videos in real time. Like it's not like I record them and then I post them 2 months later. I record this and essentially post things in real time. And the dark side and the bitch era isn't so much about other people as it is about myself and my relationship to myself. Hmm. Hmm. I was fed up. And the reason that the thing that brought me over to the dark side was my tendency to people please and to put other people's feelings above my own. And I was tired of that. I was tired of that. I was tired of that existence because it just didn't feel authentic. It didn't feel real. I didn't feel like fulfilled. I felt hollow. I felt hollow. That's a good way to put it. I felt hollow and I felt empty and I felt like my connections were hollow and I wasn't able, like, it just didn't feel like I was able to get to the meat of things. So, the people pleasing on the surface is what brought me to the dark side. But when I got here, I realized that it's not necessarily the people pleasing for other people that I was fed up with the most. It was people pleasing for myself. And I think that when people talk about people pleasing, or at least from my perspective, when I've seen and heard people talk about people pleasing, I haven't really heard it directed inward. It's always kind of directed outward. I realized that this was an inside thing. This was in something in me. I was people pleasing with myself. You know, you put other people's feelings and emotions and experiences over your own, valuing them more than yourself. I realized that I was doing that with myself. And it gets real trippy and it gets real spacey because it's self. So it's me, but it's me. I'm valuing certain experiences within myself over others. It's essentially sidestepping on the deep feelings that I have, kind of only staying on the surface, which was how my relationships were manifesting, which is why I didn't feel fulfilled in them, because I didn't feel fulfilled in myself, because I was sidestepping the real deep shit that I was feeling, because it didn't align with this image and version of myself that I was trying to embody and create. When really, the real is that the only way out is through. I can't possibly get to this version of myself that I am trying to embody, this confident and secure and high self-worth version of myself without going deep down and sitting with the things that keep me from it. Because essentially I was ignoring those things. I was trying to fake it till I made it. You know, I say this all the time, like positive affirmations are great, but you can't use positive affirmations without addressing the real wound of the situation and the reality of the situation. You know what I mean? It's only so many positive affirmations that you can say until really that shit is just falling on deaf ears. So it's just like, okay, let me just be real. Real, not PC. And I say PC in the terms of like, we want this ideal way of existence, right? We want certain things to be the norm. We want certain things to be normalized and to be societally accepted and all these different things. But if we really take a step back and you just look at what the world is for, like what it is for what it is, then you'll realize that a lot of the shit to, that we are trying to implement, right, is just not what it is yet. And that's what I had to do within myself. I had to stop being PC with myself. Like, you know how annoying it is for a dark skinned woman. I'll say this is a good example. You know how annoying it is as a dark skinned woman when people kind of ignore the realities of colorism, saying, oh, but dark skinned women are so beautiful. Chocolate women are so beautiful, but your skin is so beautiful. You should love yourself. You should love yourself. You're so beautiful. Okay, yes, but also at the same time, colorism is real. So even though you may say that we're beautiful, we're this, we're that, everything around us that we're taking into our field, the media, everything that we're taking in says otherwise. And we have to be real about that. So you can't just be positive, 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 and then ignore the realities that are actually happening. And then I had to turn that into myself. So I had to stop being PC with myself. I had to be real with myself. I had to go down. I literally just performed a piece that said, and I said in the piece, wrote that shit months ago before I was even in this mind state, that the only way up is down. I had to go down, which is why I am in the ocean right now, swimming with all parts of myself and letting everything be seen, letting everything be heard, letting everything be felt. Because you cannot skip steps. You cannot skip steps. If you do skip steps, then the shit ain't gonna be, it's gonna be short lived. So I'm in the ocean, swimming with all parts of myself. And the beautiful thing about this experience, beautiful but also very frustrating at times, is the duality of it. Is that on one hand, I have these quote unquote positive aspects of myself, but I also have and experience the complete opposite, quote unquote, negative aspect of it, of that same thing. So I am also, it's like I'm selfless. I can be selfless and I can put others in, above me, and I can, do for others and community, and understand that sometimes the whole is more important than the single part. But on the other hand, I'm also selfish, and I'll put myself above others. And I will only care about what I feel, how I feel, what I want, without regards to how it may affect other people. And both of those things have a time and place, and they're not necessarily positive or negative. They're just polarities. They're just opposite ends of the spectrum. And one thing that I've struggled with is balance, right? Nothing is black and white. That's something that I've struggled with a lot, is finding my balance, finding the sweet spot between the black and the white, finding my gray, which is where I am right now. I'm over here in the dark, which will eventually, not even, scratch that. I'm not even in the dark. I surrender to the swing of the pendulum. That is something new that I've been saying to myself. I surrender to the swing of the pendulum. What does that mean? It means that 1 minute I'm over here, 1 minute I'm over there. 1 minute I'm over here, 1 minute I'm over there. And this is what my experience is like right now. And it was frustrating. It was so frustrating for a second, and can still be frustrating. It was very frustrating because I felt like I was ping ponging. I was like, I'm ping ponging. 1 minute I think this, and the next minute I think the opposite thing, and I don't know which one is real, which one is right, which one is the truth. And then I realized they're both right. They're both true. They're both right. And surrender is truly allowing myself to just go back and forth until I find, until, what does a pendulum do? It swings, and then eventually it'll level out, and eventually I'll be here in the gray. But I can't force myself to be here when the momentum physics says that the pendulum has to go all the way over here if it just came from all the way over there. That's physics. You can't just go and stop in the middle. That ain't how science work. You gotta just allow yourself. I gotta allow myself to get there naturally. I got to allow myself to get there naturally. And I think that for a while I was struggling with that, because it's like, I want to be here. I want to be here where things make more sense to me in my mind, where things are, where I can hold all the things. I can hold all the truths, because everything is gray. Gray is where the nuance lives. Gray is where the context lives. Gray is where you can have two things be true at the same time, and there's no fighting for one perspective or the other. It simply is that both perspectives are true. And I think that I struggle with that within myself and within my relationships, because I so badly wanted it to be one thing or the other. I struggle with all or nothing. It's either this or it's that. It's not both. It can't be both. My mind didn't like that. But now I'm realizing that it is both. It is both. That's how nuance works. That's how context works. It's not so much as like, oh, this person is the villain, this person is the victim. When really it's neither, and it's both at the exact same time. Certain, you will have faults, and you will have, you'll be right about some things, you'll be wrong about some things. The other person will be right about some things, the other person will be wrong about some things. And the same thing that goes within myself. It's all true. It's all right and it's all wrong. And that shit is a hard concept for me to grasp sometimes. when my ego so badly wants to protect me from feeling wrong, from feeling judged, from feeling ridiculed, from all the things that the ego wants to protect you from, right? So that's just my ego coming into play, just trying to protect me, like, you're right and they're wrong, and that's just it. When really the situation at hand is, you messed up sometimes, they messed up sometimes, you got it right sometimes, they got it right sometimes, and it's just a shitty circumstance. But there's no one person to blame, just like within myself. Sometimes I feel this way, sometimes I feel that way, but both of those experiences are valid, and both of them deserve to be seen and heard. But you cannot shun one part of you, the part that does not serve your narrative, can't shun one part of you and think that you're going to be able to reach this state of wholeness. The whole point of wholeness is to incorporate all of you. So I had to look at all of myself. I'm currently looking at all of myself, the judgmental parts of myself, the hateful parts of myself, the ignorant parts of myself, the parts of myself that I so badly wanted to keep pushed away, because I couldn't dare allow myself to take on those labels, because I was holding on to this version and this image of myself that at the end of the day just wasn't all of me, just wasn't all of me. So, yes, while I can be a very understanding and caring and giving and nurturing person, I can also be cold and detached and inconsiderate and judgmental. All of these things are me. I am all, I am everything. And it is in this state where I can achieve wholeness. So I surrender to the swing of the pendulum. I allow myself to go back and forth in my experience. One minute I feel so strong and so secure and so confident, and the next minute I feel insecure and I feel like hopeless and I don't know how I'm going to get there and I don't know what the hell is going to happen. And I allow myself to just be present in all of that. Because if I try and hold myself back, it's only going to make me feel worse, because I'm disrupting the flow. But if I allow and I surrender, eventually that pendulum will just come out and it'll start to level out in the gray. And that's not to say that it won't ever happen again. Like, something in life won't happen to push me all the way over here, and then here we go. We start over. So I am in the ocean. I am swimming. I am happy to be here. I am so happy to be here. It makes me so proud to get to this point of fearlessness, because that's what kept me away from it so for so long, was the fear. But I'm here now, and I see that it's just the dark parts of me that just want to be seen and loved and heard. And that's what real true love comes from, loving all of me. So I'm here and I'm swimming in the ocean, and it's dark, and sometimes I get a little scared, but then I just stop and I just allow myself to just surrender to the water. and it feels great. I feel I feel so connected to spirit. I'm closer to myself and to God, like the closest that I've ever been. And I'm just grateful. I'm grateful. Grateful for the dark. Grateful for the depth of myself. And I just know that once I emerge from the water, from the ocean, I might not even recognize myself. And that is exciting.